Hello, class. Today we're doing RedP2.6b. Today we are solving inequalities and we're graphing the solution. Okay? So we're doing all of the even numbers on video, and you are responsible for doing the odd as well. Okay? So let's get started. Here we have negative 9.6 is less than or equal to z minus 2.1. Okay? Now, when we take a look at this, we recognize, let's see if we can make this a little bigger here. We recognize that z is the variable that we need to isolate. So we put z in charge of this side of the inequality, and we say that everything that is associated in z's house or z's section needs to be eliminated or moved. So in this case, we identify that negative 2.1, okay, is the number that needs to be removed from z. So instead of z subtracting 2.1, we're going to add 2.1 to this side and add 2.1 to this side, and therefore z is isolated. The inequality is here, and therefore, because the signs are different, we actually are subtracting, and it's a negative integer. Now, for graphing purposes, we want our variable to be to the left of our inequality, and therefore we write it so that the statement remains true. Z is greater than or equal to negative 7.5, so z is greater than or equal to negative 7.5. Therefore, we can put a negative 7.5 anywhere on here. Because it is also equal to, our graph circle is filled in because it includes negative 7.5, and we follow our graph line in the direction of our inequality. Okay? And that completes the answer, the solution, and the solving of the inequality for number 2. Let's move on to number 4. Okay? On number 4, we have 9 is greater than y plus 3/4. So in this case, it's y's house. We want to remove the positive 3/2 by subtracting 3/4. We want to subtract 3/4 on this side. We recognize in order to do so, this 9 is a whole number. So we're going to borrow one whole, and that whole is going to be 4/4. Okay? The signs are different. So 4 minus 3 would give us 1/4. And then we bring down our 8. And because we have more positives than negatives, this is positive, and it is greater than y. We want to rewrite it for our graph purpose with y is less than 8 and 1/4. So y is less than 8 and 1/4. So therefore, if we put 8 and 1/4 here, it does not include the 8 and 1/4, and then everything on this side of 8 and 1/4 is included in our solution. Okay, let's take a look here. We have t divided by 8 is greater than or equal to negative 3.3. In this case, it's t's house. T needs to be isolated. 8 is being divided. So we want to do the opposite of dividing by 8. We're going to multiply by 8. Therefore, t is left alone. And so our answer is, okay, negative 26 and 4/10. Negative 26 and 4/10. Okay? And now we're going to move forward by graphing, our t is already on our left side, so we can say negative 26 and 4/10 here. It includes it, so we circle it in, color it in, and then everything to this side of the inequality. All right, let's move forward. For f is greater than negative 48, is f needs to be isolated. Right now, 4 is next to f in an effort to multiply, so we would do the opposite, divide by 4, divide by 4, and so f is greater than, and in this case, it would be a negative 12. All right, and so since f is already on our left side, we put our negative 12 here, and because it's not equal to, our graph would be open, and then we would shade everything to this side, okay? Everything that's greater than 12. All right, let's take a look at number 10. On number 10, we have negative k half less than or equal to negative 1/2. Here, we want to isolate k, so we want to remove the 2, not just the 2, but we want to move the negative with it. In a fraction, the negative symbol can go with the numerator or the denominator, okay? In this case, we're going to include it with our denominator. Instead of dividing by negative 2, we're going to multiply everything by negative 2. We're going to multiply by negative 2. This would be negative 2 over 1. Okay, we're multiplying by it, right? And so therefore this is canceled out. K is left. And because we multiply by a negative number, our inequality must switch sides, okay? And then therefore when we multiply, we have 2 over 2. They both are negative, which makes our answer positive 1. And so we have 1. It includes it because it's equal to, so we're going to fill in our circle here, and then we're going to go in this direction, okay? That is our lesson for today. See you in the morning. We have the negative 8p greater than or equal to 17.6. So here we want to remove the negative 8. And so instead of multiplying it by p, we're going to divide by negative 8. We're going to divide this by negative 8. Okay, I'm going to need some more room. Let's see, we're going to work up here as best we can, right on this curve here. All right, negative 8p, okay, 17.6. Said we're going to divide by negative 8, divide by negative 8, and therefore this is canceled. It's p, but because we divided by a negative number, the inequality turns, okay? And so then we divide. How many 8s are in 17? We have 2, 1 left over. Decimal point will go there. How many are in the 16? 2, and because it was a negative and a positive, our answer is negative. So therefore our p is on the right left side of where we want it to be. So our negative 2.2 is here. It includes, okay, let's do it the other way. Give ourselves more room. 2.2 negative, it includes 2.2, and so all the solutions in this direction are included. Okay, let's look at 14. Here we have a distributive property situation here. So let's give ourselves a little more room to work with here. So 1/4 p is negative 1/4 p. And then we want to multiply 1/4 of 12. 1/4 of it is going to be 3. And because both are negative, it's going to be a positive 3. And that is greater than negative 2. At this point, we're going to do the additive inverse first by removing the 3. from P, okay, and then therefore we have 1/4, negative 1/4 P greater than, in this case, a negative 5, okay, because we added those two together. Now, instead of multiplying by 1/4, we're going to do the reciprocate here, and we're going to do it over here. And therefore, it's negative, and this is negative. So this P is greater than negative 5 times negative 4, give us a positive 20/1. Now, because we utilized a negative, we must flip this inequality here. Okay, you got to remember to flip that. So P is less than 20. Okay, and so therefore we put a 20 here, and it's not equal to, so our graph circle is open, and we graph to this side. Okay, now let's move along to number 16. On number 16, ooh, that looks big. All right, let's take a look. It reads, to win a trivia game, you need at least 60 points. Each question is worth 4 points. So far, you have earned 24 points. Okay? Write and solve an inequality that represents the number of questions you need to answer correctly to win. All right, so let's read this again. To win a trivia game, you need at least 60 points. So you can get more than 60 points, but you need at least 60 points. So when we see that at least, we know that it is an inequality. So therefore, whatever we win has to be at least 60. So it be equal to 60, but then it also must be greater than 60. Okay? All right, so then each question is worth 4 points. So whatever the question is, we get 4 points. So let's say if you answer 4 or 5 or 10, it's times 4. Okay, so we got 4x is for the question, and it's greater than or equal to 60. So far, you have earned 24 points. So whatever number of questions you answer from this point, plus the 24 you already have. So that's our equation, right? And solve an inequality that represents the number of questions you need to answer correctly. So here we have 4x plus 24 greater than or equal to 60, excuse me, okay? So we're going to, instead of adding 24, we're going to subtract 24, subtract 24. So 4x is greater than or equal to 10 minus 4 is 6. This is 5 minus 2 is 3. All right, and so therefore, we're going to divide by 4, and x is greater than or equal to 9. All right, so then x is greater than or equal to 9. All right, so now let's look at the next question. It says, graph the solution in part A. Will you have won the game after correctly answering 6 more questions? So then, here's our graph. Okay. Here is 9. Okay. It includes 9, but everything this way is what we need. So 9, that's 10. 11, that's 12, so on and so forth. And then back this way is 8, 7, okay? So, now, if we answered 6 questions, will we have enough? No. So, for part A, the answer is no. 6 questions is not enough. Let's look at this one. 10 more questions? For part B of this question, yes. 10 more questions.